Hello, good morning, everyone. Someone spotlight me already. Now, I just want to say good morning. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Now, if you can hear me, please comment below and let me know. Or those people who are on camera, now, if you can hear me, please wave at me. Please wave at me. All right, fantastic. I can see you. I can see Charles. You know, I love seeing these people. You know, you guys look very tiny in front of the screen. All right, so that's very fantastic. Now, before I start, I would like to start off the day by saying thank you to a few people. I just want to be grateful because gratitude is the highest form of energy. That's what I know, and everyone is consistently seeking for the right energy to start off the day. Now, first of all, I would like to say thank you to the KW regional team for organizing training for all the Asian to equip us to go through the challenging time today. Now, you know what? This morning, as I doing preparation to start with these sessions, I received a message from my leaders, Emilia, such a long message, and I read, it really encouraged me. And that message is very long, and I thought that message will help me to say the right words, to bring out the right message to every one of you here to help. I don't know who is that Asian. I just want to say thank you to you for that message. Such a good encouragement for me to start. And secondly, I want to say thank you to every one of you here. I can see about 96 people who make a commitment to come to these sessions and to learn about mindset into action. All right, so that is important. I just want to say thank you for making that kind of commitment to come and learn. You know, now in the whole entire session, I won't be using slides. So if you're using handphone, maybe it's good that you change to a laptop so that you can see the flip chart here. I won't be using slide, by the way. If I can use slide, then you can use handphone. But if I'm using flip chart, it's better for you to use a laptop. Now I've seen some of the new faces here. I haven't met. You know, probably you are new to KW Malaysia. I just want to say welcome here, and I would like to introduce myself. My name is Jonathan Quack. I'm in this real estate industry for about 7 years already, and I specialize in primary market. And I did sub-sale before, 1 or 2 Taman Tun houses. I do open house there and did sub-sale before, but I realized that my calling is primary market for the last 3-4 years. And I'm running a team right now called FDRT, called Forefront Dream Runner. I have a lot of talented people there. It's good to have all of them in my team. And they did a fantastic job on the FDRT. And also, I'm a part of a faculty trainer for KW Malaysia to train and to give value to Asians so that to help them to go through the real estate journey and to see them achieve something in their property journey we have. Now, the session today that we want to talk about, we're gonna talk through a little bit about mindset that's important during this season of time. And we're also going to talk through about the challenges, the problem, and the struggle that we are going through. And now, how many of you here going through some challenges and struggle in your business? Can you comment below and let me know? I don't believe just me alone are facing challenges. I believe there will be more people are facing challenges, I guess. How many of you here are facing? Right, I can see Nasri is facing challenges. All right, cool. You guys make me feel good because I thought only me facing challenges, but you know, I don't feel alone, right? So we're going to talk through a little bit about the challenges, and most importantly, we're going to talk through a little bit about the world that we are in today. The world that we are in today that make us feel a little bit uncomfortable, make us feel that the challenges ahead sometimes make us feel that what is the next step? And we're going to talk a little bit about the world that we are in today. Now, I remember my mentor say this to me, and he said, John, whatever you do, it must be impactful, it must be transformational, it must be life-changing. And he said this, whatever you do, it must be impactful, transformational, and life-changing. And I've been asking myself for the last 2 days, and I say, how can I make this session for the next 1.5 hours to be impactful, to be transformational, and to be life-changing? Then I realized in any kind of training that you and I attend, in order to get the most out of it, rules number 1 if you have a piece of paper or pen, if you want to write down rules number 1, we don't just take notes, we take action. Now, I remember I attend a lot of seminars, I attend a lot of training. I will always carry a book or piece of paper with me, and I will write a very big word here called action plan. Then while listening to the speaker or listening to the trainer, then I realized it's something that I need to do. I will write it down. For example, the book that I want to buy. For example, the book that I want to read. For example, the trainer remind me to organize my database. Or for example, the trainer give me ideas that how you should put system into your team or into your structure and put that in. And I remember there's one training I attend in the US. If I'm not mistaken, it's FSO. End of the training, I think there's some background noise at the back, right? And end of the training, I have 35 action plans that I need to do. But one thing is that we can't do all 35. So what happened is that I pick the number 1 thing that I must do, that I will put it there. So in any kind of training, we don't just take notes. We take action, and end of the training, we take what we learn and we apply. That's rules number 1. Now, rules number 2, and that's the favorite, and I love this rules number 2 a lot. In any kind of training that you and I attend, there are a lot of information, a lot of content, a lot of value that you can consume, right? But the thing is, if you over consume information into your brain and a lot of content into your brain, you know what will happen? You will paralyze. Now, regional can organize hundreds of trainings that for you to attend. But if you try to take everything into your brain, you get paralyzed. Or you over-consume food, you know what will happen at the end of the day? You vomit out because it cannot digest properly. So rules number 2 is to take the best and leave the rest. So in any kind of training that is important to you, certain word that is important to you, certain thing that is important to you, take the best and leave the rest. All right. So that's the things that I want to highlight a little bit for you to start off the day. So I hope it makes sense to you, and I hope it really makes sense to every one of you here. Now, I would like to ask this question to go into this session. Now, just now you guys mentioned that you are having some challenges and struggle that you are facing in real estate business. Now, would you mind to tell me what are the challenges and struggle that you are facing? Or what are the problems that you're having right now in your business? Would you mind to share with me? Can you comment below and let me know? Let me see whether we have the same struggle. Huh? Let me see. So what? Targeting the right group. Shafiq say cash flow. Yep. I also having cash flow problem, right? I believe some people are having cash flow problem. So what are the challenges that you guys are facing? Comment below and let me know, so that we know what is the challenges and struggle that you're facing. Newbie here kind of overwhelmed with all the information and don't know where to start, right? Current market, a lot of people say cash flow. What else? What else? What are the challenges that you are facing? Comment below. Or some of you lead gen and follow up. All right, cool. Now, so some of people say about lead generation. What about the loan? I believe some people are talking about loan part, right? Fear of doing marketing campaign. All right, so there's some fear that clients in airline industry may have loan issue. Bankers not helping. That is very bad. Change the bankers. What are the challenges that you're facing, right? I see all that. Managing expectation. Cool. Right. What else? What else you guys are facing? What else you guys are facing? Implement fully what I learned. All right. Interesting. Okay. Fear of dealing and rolling. All right. Cool. All right. So that's the things that we are facing. All right. Not just that, by the way. Some people are unable to generate leads. Some people can't find buyers because it's a buyer's market. Some people are doing sub-sale that the seller wants to sell very high. That's the challenges that you are facing. I think cash flow is the number 1 issue that everyone is facing. And some people probably say lack of motivation, and some people even complain about the buyer is not helping them, you know. And some people probably talking about they're not getting the good quality listing, and there's no direction, don't know where to start. They are limiting belief there, and there's some self-discipline there, guys. Now, what I'm going through just now by asking that question is because I want it to be a little bit purposeful for this training and to understand what you are going through. Now, to go through that session, to go through all the challenges, it helped me to understand I'm not alone. It also helped you to understand that you're not alone, that you're facing these challenges. Now, yesterday I give a call to John Lee and ask this question and say, hey, John, what have you observed during this season of time? What have you observed about the Asian? How are they feeling today? And he told me this. He said, during this season of time, wait a minute, let me see. Now, during this season of time, we see two types of people. And these two types of people are different boats. Now, what do I mean by that is that we are in the same storm that we are going through right now, but we are in a different boat. Meaning to say we are having a two different mindset, and it's either you come out bitter or you come out better. Now, I'm going to identify these two people for you to understand which one are you, right? Now, there are first group of people. There are first group of people here. And I'm not too sure you guys can see it, but I will just pull a little bit nearer. Okay, and the second group of people here. So this guy is a little bit happy, right? Now, the first group of people, during this season of time, during this challenging time, they are looking at magic pill. Now, what do I mean by that? They are looking at magic pill. Remember, there are two types of people during this season of time. They want the magic pill to get all their problems solved. They are waiting for that. They are not willing to change. They just wait there and wait for everything to pass through, wait for the storm to pass through. And then they are looking for the kind of magic, the kind of secret, so that their life can be better. Now, there are first group of people who are in this category. Not only that, not only they are looking for magic pill, they are waiting to go back. They are waiting to go back to normal. Now, what do I mean by that? It means that they don't want to change. They want to do the business the way they used to do it. They want to do the business the way they do it in 2019, 2018. And they are waiting to go back to the normal. And not only that, during this season of time, they think negatively. They are not thinking positively. They are thinking about the COVID case that's happening around the whole world. They are thinking that people are get laid off. They are thinking the economy is down. They are thinking the bank is not giving loan. If you're not careful, and if you're in this category thinking negatively, you might be going through some depressions. Yeah. And it can be very, very dangerous. And people who are in this category, normally they will talk to themselves by saying, why I cannot make sales? Why the loan won't approve to me? And they will ask a lot of questions, why? And all this low quality question will lead to a poor answer. Instead of asking why I cannot make sales, they should ask, how can I make sales? What are the options I have? What can we do? So when you think negatively, automatically the way you behave also very, very different. And not only that, lastly, they just sit there. They want to stay at the current situation that they are in today. They're not doing anything to change their life. They are looking at the COVID case every day, all day. And you know what will happen at the end of the day? They eventually get burned out. That's the first group of people that we observe during this RMCO or CMCO. Now, there's a different group of people, all right, that By the way, if you're in this category, what you will become, end of the day, I hope you guys can say it, is that it's either you will come out bitter. Now, there's a second group of people here that when things happen, what they're going to do is that they'll be very adaptable. Now, what do I mean by that is that they are not looking for a magic pill, by the way. All right. They make a choice to change and shift in the current market. This group of people change very fast. And not only that, accept the situation. Now, let me explain to you a little bit what do you mean by accept the situation. Is that number one, they understand the world has changed. Now, let me ask you this question. Has our world changed? Has our world changed? Thank you for saying that. It means that we really understand the world has changed. But have we made a decision to accept that the world has changed and to try to understand the new game that we are in today? And when we accept the situation that we are in, we don't expect to go back to normal. And when we accept the situation that we're in today, we know that the RMCO maybe will come back in the future. When we accept the situation that we're in today, we be smart. Every time when we go out, we wear masks, we wash our hands frequently, and we don't complain, and we find ways to make things happen. All right? So we accept the situations that we are in today. So this group of people, that's what we observe. And not only that, instead of thinking negatively, they think possibility. They think what they can do. They ask question, instead of asking question, why I cannot close deal, they ask question, how can I close deal? Instead of they ask question, why this has happened to me, they ask question, what can I do now to deliver my service and my product in a different ways? They're thinking this kind of thing. So these people are thinking possibility. And lastly, they don't sit there, they run. Now, what do I mean by they run is that they grab whatever opportunity that's available that they can see right now. And when they run, they become more productive, they become more effective, and they understand this. And I hope everyone can get this also. During this season of time, speed is the key of success. Speed is the key of success. If you're slow, I'm so sorry about that. I would like to share this story about the team that I'm managing right now. And we do a lot of we close a lot of cases, all right? We have a lot of booking, but the conversion has got a little bit challenging. Then I realized one thing is that the speed to submit to the bank and the speed to get the loan approved is key. And sometimes we are not in the real estate just to be a real estate agent. Sometimes we are the bankers. And I tell all my team members that do the banker's job. When you do closing that time, immediately bring out the bank booking form, bank application form, and let them sign and collect all the documents and submit to bank. And let me tell you, banks are also in the situation that they are confused. Bankers are also very confused, and bankers are also very stressed. They are very depressed. We give them a grade A customer, but somehow the loan cannot approve. So what happened is that when we understand the speed is the key to success, that you become a banker when you do closing the time. You advise the client, you collect all the documents. So this is the things that we are talking about, and this is the people that we observe during CMCO, during MCO. So now we can be in the same storm, but at different boats. If you are here, you will come out bitter. But if you are here, you will come out better. It's a choice. It's a choice for you to make a decision. Now, I would like to post this for a while. and allow you to ask questions. Or maybe, John, would you like to come in and share a little bit about your point of view that people are being adaptable and they're being flexible in this season of time?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. I love that. I love that. Can someone make sure that both of our, yeah, thank you, so that we can still see that particular chart that John just shared. Um, and in my conversation with John yesterday, he asked me what's my observation as I speak to many agents, and I said that these are probably the two key categories of people that's around there. And I want to be clear here. It is not because all of us are lesser, that's why we choose the other side, or all of us are better than each other. It's not that way. It is because this crisis is unprecedented and it has caused us to somehow by default go into this mode, right? Now, the good news is this. The good news is all of us, now you're aware. Some of us are not even aware that we are on the other side of the boat. Some of us also are not aware that we are on this side of the boat. Now, the goal today is to bring that awareness to everyone that there is two choices and there's two boats that's available, right? Just imagine you're going down to the ferry, there's two boats, and now you're clear that the destination of two boats is brought before you right now. Now, the key thing is this. All of us here today have a choice. There's this guy, you can Google this guy, it's called William Glacier. William Glacier was a philosopher and a psychologist. And he came out with this theory called the choice theory, which is a very widely used theory right now for counseling and coaching. And it says this, that all of us, through serious awareness to understand where we are, to understand how we become what we are, will help us to come to a point to make decisions. So I think today's conversation is like, you can make a choice. It's your choice. Situation, there are certain things you cannot, there are certain things we have no choice. Like we have no choice how our government is right now. We have no choice. We have no choice how COVID-19 is. We have no choice. But we have a choice to decide how we respond and react. And today there's two boats for you. Which boat do you want? And that's your choice. That's your choice. And there's no right or wrong. It's a choice. You make that decision. I just want to add that.
Correct. So being adaptable, for me, what my understanding is that you must be able to reinvent yourself. And if you are not being adaptable, you don't change fast. It doesn't matter how big is your company or how strong is your company. If you don't change, you will get put out of business. And I'm thinking, if today I'm a public speaker and I'm going through this season of time, and I'm waiting to go back on stage to give speech, I think I will get put out of business. And Tony Robbins today, they are not on the stage. Tony Robbins today are doing virtual event, and Gary Keller also the same thing. So if we don't do that, we don't know. And in fact, when they make the choice, there is fear. Because I remember when we attend the mega camp, Jay Papasan and also Gary Keller and says when they do this virtual mega camp, they don't know about the outcome, but they take the risk and do it. In fact, the outcome is way better than before. All right. So we don't know what is that, but it's very important that be adaptable, be flexible, and take action. And we don't know what is the outcome, but just do it. All right. So that's the thing. That's the chart I want to show you. And I hope that, and I pray that no one is actually in this situation. No one is in this day. And all of us here, 206 people, we are all here. That we're being very flexible, adaptable. We accept the situations. We think all the possibility and we run for it. Okay, cool. Now I'd like to show you a different things that I feel it is very important to understand the game that we are in today. To understand the game that we are trying to play. Okay, now there are two types of games here as I'm going through some of the sessions to try to understand what game that we are playing. One is called finite games. The other one is called infinite games. Now, let me explain to you what is finite games. Now, finite game meaning to say, you're playing the game, you follow the rules and regulations, and you play to win. You play to beat your competitors. You play to outplay your competitors. and you play to be number one. Nothing wrong to be a finite game, but what happened after you be number one? There is no part two. So finite people or finite game, we call it, let me write it down for you. Now, infinite games mean to say they're not playing to win the game, but they play to stay in the situation. All right? I'm not too sure you can see it, but I'm gonna put it out a little bit. So one is finite game, one is infinite games. Now let me ask you this question. Do you think right now at this moment we are in the game trying to beat our competitors, or we are in the game trying to stay in this industry? Which one are we right now? Are we in the finite game that trying to beat our competitors to be number one, or to beat all our competitors to kill them so that you are the one to stay in the market? Or you are in an infinite game that you're trying to stay in this game and stay in this industry? All right, number two, right? So one is two here. So one is to play to win, and the second one is to play to stay in the game. Now, to stay in the game, it means that the people here, they are focusing on competitors. This group of people, they are focusing on themselves and what they can do better to stay in the game. And that's the infinite games that we are playing. Number two, as I mentioned, they are trying to beat competitors. However, what we are trying to do is that we are not trying to beat our competitors during this lot of time. And I remember I have this conversation with my mentor, and I say, many years ago, I was doing one project, and I do that project is because I want to prove myself. And I do that project is because I want to beat the agency that is doing that project, because that agency was very good. You know what will happen? End of the day, I'm the one who gets frustrated. Because that agency trying to focus on making money, and I'm trying to beat them. And I realized that I'm actually very frustrated. And my mentor told me this: we are in the business not to compete with our competitors, and we see our competitors to better ourselves. And that's the big aha I got from my mentor. We are not in the business to compete or outdo our competitors, and we see our competitors to better ourselves. Then I realized that we shouldn't be in finite game, because end of the day I get frustrated. And we should be in the infinite game that instead of beating our competitors, we beat ourselves. That's what we call self-mastery. Self-mastery, what does it mean? We are not trying to be the best, but we are trying to be the best version of ourselves. That's the thing. That's the things that we always focus. Now, infinite games, that we are very flexible, that we are focusing on ourselves, we are focusing on creating value to the market, creating value to people. Now, if I want you to take a moment and think that for the last few years, how many companies appear trying to put Asian out of business? I want you to take a moment and think. Please don't write down the company name here. And they say, we don't want we don't want real estate Asian in the industry, and our company create more value, and our assistant is to put Asian out of business. That's their mindset. That's their focus. That's why they are here, trying to put Asian out of business. But Redfield KW Malaysia, I don't think we are thinking that way. We are not trying to put anyone out of business. We are trying to be the best version of ourselves. We are not trying to put anyone out of business, but we are focusing on our client, and we are focusing on our industry to create more value. All right. So instead of these people trying to put Asian out of business and focus on winning, And what we are going to do is that we focus on creating value. Now, two mindsets here. Which one are you in today? Right. So I thought I just want to take this opportunity to let you to understand one is finite game, one is infinite games that we are in today. Right. So, John, now I would like to get you in and to pick up your mind a little bit to hear from you about the finite and the infinite games that we are in today.
Yeah. So first of all, this is a great book to read about it. It's called, let me go, can you see this? It's called The Infinite Game by Simon Sinek, right? I think if you want to understand this concept, his videos are available, but read this book, okay? The Infinite Game. Now, it's all about thinking about how do you still stay in business and how do you still remain relevant to the market, right? For a very, very long time. And the only way, I think after this crisis, right, I'm very, very convinced that the only way that you will always remain relevant in the market, you're always giving value to the market, is when you are ahead of everyone else in the market. And the only way you can be ahead of everyone else is you must have the mindset of wanting to do things that everyone else is not willing to do. Then you're ahead. We're going to, in January next year, we're going to officially call ourselves the home of the tech-enabled agent. I got friends that tell me you are crazy, you are stupid, agents won't use technology, they don't like technology, it's very difficult, blah, 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 blah. I think you are stupid. I think you are crazy. And I like that. Every time when you tell yourself that you want to be ahead and everybody else call you stupid, you're on the right track. So the infinite mindset sometimes will let you look like you are a bit stupid, you're a bit crazy, you are a bit, how do I know, out of place, you're talking nonsense and all that. But you're talking nonsense with substance and intelligence and conviction. That's a difference. That's a huge difference. So the infinite mindset people generally are courageous to fail forward. Generally, they have to be in the boat category of adaptable boat. They have to be thinking very positive. They must be in that side because that's the better version of ourselves. That's the better version of ourselves. So I cannot help to encourage everyone that you must think of the infinite thing, that this is going on forever and ever and ever. It will not stop. And that's how championships and champions are created. That's how a team of players in a team sport, they become so good not after one season, they become very good for the rest of the season. I give you an example. How many of you are basketball players?
Me.
Yeah, I'm not a basketball player. I watch basketball. Okay. How many of you remember in the late 90s to the early 2000s, there's this team called the Chicago Bulls? How many of you remember the famous players in Chicago Bulls? Type it down in that chat room right now. Who are the famous players in Chicago Bulls? Who else? Who else? Yes, Dennis Rodman, Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan. There you go. Dean Stockton. These are all the famous players. Where is the Chicago Bulls right now? What happened? Where are they in the NBA standing line? Very far away. Now, they had these great players that was very consistent. So consistent for a very long time that they became championship over and over and over and over again, because they were not thinking about winning one season. They were thinking of being the best version and the best players of their life in their career. That was their mindset. That was your mindset. That was the mindset of the infinite. I cannot give you a better example than a Michael Jordan example. Everybody still remember that jersey number 23. Everybody will remember that Michael Jordan movie that he did. I think he did a small little movie. Everybody will remember all these things not because of one season, no, not because of one match, not because of one powerful shot, not because of one special trick he knows, not because of a special outfit he has. No, it is because that this team of players were very consistent because they were out there trying to be the best version of themselves.
100%.
And that is a choice. That is a choice. It is not by default. It is not something that they were born to become. It was they make that decision. It was a choice. So I think that's a good example of an infinite game.
You're right. And an infinite game, an infinite player, they understand that sometimes they win and sometimes they lose. And they are okay. And infinite players, they understand that sometimes they're having a good time and sometimes they have a bad time and they are okay. An infinite player understand that 2 years ago I made good money and understand the situation that we're in today, and we make less transaction and make less money and they are okay. And it's not to make yourself so stressed by having this infinite mindset. It's to really understand sometimes you're ahead of everyone and sometimes you're behind of everyone. And that's all right. It's to be the best version of yourself. And that is the one of the important things that you and I should develop, should go into this kind of mindset every day when we wake up in the morning. And I think one of the things that we want to do is that how can we do self-mastery? What kind of skill set we need? What kind of soft skill that we need, right? And when we talk about this book and we talk about the models, right? I realize that sometimes when a new agent join in, they cannot understand the model that we are in. Then I realized one thing is that they have to learn how to make some sales first, and then they earn the right to go into the model and to go into the business. And do you study some sales skill, and how do you do presentation in a more structured way? How do you do emotional selling? How do you close deal by educating your client and consulting your client? And all that are important. And how to attend the pricing strategy that we have for the first training, and how are you implementing it right now? How can you be better next time? For the next negotiation, when you talk to seller, you will talk differently for sure. So that's the infinite games that we are playing today, right? So for me,
can I just add one more thing, John? Can I just add one more thing? Sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think the other part about infinite game is the minute when you hit something that didn't work, which you will hit something that didn't work. You will hit one. So first thing first, when you go into the infinite game, manage your expectation that you will fail at a certain point in time. And that failure is just a lesson to be learned. And that failure is just to help you understand what's the right path and what's not so right path. Because you cannot go into a journey or this business thinking that you must find the right thing and the right thing must work all the way. It doesn't work that way. So you might have to go there. So understanding that failure is important. It is necessary. It is if you are a good person, I always say this thing, only a good loser can be a good winner.
Yep.
Only a good loser can be a good winner. Now, if you understand all these things, right? So the infinite game helps us to see that this journey today that we are now going through, maybe I didn't do well here, I make a mistake here, right? The attitude that you need to have is to ask yourself, what's the lesson am I learning from this failure right now? What's the lesson? What can we do better? Why we cannot make this happen? Why then we benchmark? How come the competitor is making it happen and we are not? What is it that we are not doing correctly? What is it that they are doing correctly that we can copy and learn? By the way, the best way to succeed in the infinite game is to copy fast. Don't waste time. Copy, right? So learning from mistakes is progress. Absolutely right, Sissy. Learning from mistakes is progress. Embracing mistakes, embracing failure, embracing things that you didn't go well for you is necessary for us to grow. That's why they say in growing there is pain. It's called growing pains. If you don't go through pain, likely you are not growing.
You're right. The pain today is tomorrow's strength.
Absolutely. So it helps you remember the lessons that you don't do these things again and do other things that make sense, right? So I want to stress here that the infinite mindset, always look at failures as a pathway to success. Always look at it and say that, hey, how can I learn from this session? What is it that I didn't do that I should have done? What is it that I shouldn't do that I shouldn't do? right? So you have to sit down and talk every time when we do an activity or we do a meeting or we do a training or when my whole team does something, right? We always have something called a huddle or a debrief and sit down and ask ourselves, what's the bad thing that we see that we didn't do right? What are the good things that we like and what are the things that we didn't like? Because if you want to improve the best version of yourself, you've got to face not only the good things, but you have to have the strength to face the not so nice things. Right? If you don't face the not so nice things, you can never be better. And a lot of us are just wanting to see the good things, right? So the infinite mindset needs to assess what happened to those things that didn't do well consistently, right? So I think that's very important to sink into the infinite mindset. Yeah, sorry, back to you, John.
Correct. So yeah, someone talking about my shit, you're right, is to feel often, feel fast, and feel forward. And I always remember this, and I wear this because I think failure is a stepping stone. You know, that don't worry about failure. You know. So, but sometimes I realize that we feel too slow. We gotta make a lot of mistakes and feel hard, feel forward, and just get back out and just run again. All right. So that's the things that we're talking about. And I thought this is important. This is important to me. It means a lot to me. And I take this opportunity to share the message that we want to do. Now, lastly, we want to talk about one of the model that I'm trying to understand. That sometimes I notice some of the Asian in this industry, they don't know what they want to do. Not just Asian, by the way. I've seen clients, they say they want to buy property, but they don't know what kind of property they want to buy. What they really want, they do not know. Now, when we talk about in a business context, that sometimes you get yourself so busy, but you don't know what is the purpose. You're very busy, you're running here and there, but you're not getting anything done. All right. So there's one model that we talk about is that there are people understand that what they want to do, and there are people understand that how to do it. Now, the key is that I want to talk a little bit about the story that we have. That some people say, "Hey, John, flyers doesn't work today, or Facebook marketing doesn't work today, and the technology doesn't work today." But I just want to say this: it's not about what technology that you are using; it's about how you use it. It's not about the flyer, what kind of marketing activities that you are doing, is about how you do it. And I just want to share this story about the flyers distribution that we do, where everyone say flyers doesn't work anymore. But when we distribute flyers for one particular project and we get 2 deals done, we did not distribute the flyers in the housing area, because one of the project that we have is nearby MRT and LRT station. Instead of distributing flyers into the housing area, where I think nobody will just pick it up and read, we station at the MRT station. We station ourselves at the MRT, line MRT station, and distribute flyers, and we get the 2 deals done. So sometimes the key is not about what you do, it's about how you do it. It's about how you do it. And also observe one of the my team members. Sometimes they feel that there are tons of things they want to do. There are a lot of things they want to do. Now the key is that they come in and say, some of Asia, they come in and say, "I want to make 500,000 or I want to make 200,000. Okay, cool, fantastic. You want to make 200,000, but how do you do it? They don't know. So the key is that sometimes it's very important that if you want to make, for example, this month is October, November, December, if you set a goal that you want to do, for example, is to close about 100,000, 500K, the key is that fantastic, you have the goal. It's good to have a goal because the goal will inform your action, what you want to do. Now you have 100,000 that you want to do, and the key question is that, hey, what do I need to do? What property should I sell? Should I go into a rental? Should I take a lot of listing? How many units I need to transact to close this property? And I give you an example about one of project that we are having in Tropica, Phuket Jalil. If you close one deal, you get about 25,000. That's per unit. Now, in order for you to achieve 100,000, you need to close 4 units, which will help you to gain about 100,000. And the key is 4 units. Now, don't get paralyzed. Don't get paralyzed by having a goal that 4 units, how to achieve it. Now, the key is that you haven't even achieved 1 unit. What we want to do now here is that having a big goal and chop it into a small piece. Focus on the first unit that you want to close first. Focus on the 1 unit that you close first. Then only you talk about, then only you earn the right to close the second one. Then you earn the right to close the third one. Then you earn the right to close the fourth one. And sometimes when people look at this 100,000, they get paralyzed. So it's very good to break it down to understand what you want to do. Now, it is very important that when we talk about this goal, and we talk about start with a big why. Now, what is a big why? The big why is to really understand the purpose that you are having today so that it can carry on in the business. Now, when we talk about this, the infinite games, that this group of people are having purpose in their life. This group of people understand what they're going to do, all right? So that's the important. So the number one things that we want to focus here is the big why. We know what we want to do, we know how to do it, but you will get stuck in between. It's because sometimes you don't know why you do what you do. And the big why is the number one things that we want to focus today. John, would you like to add on something about the big why that we should have in a real estate journey?
I think, sorry, hang on. Sorry, I just get my mate to move the vacuum cleaner because it will disrupt my big why. But anyway, I think the big why is probably the most critical mindset tool or the purpose of a person's life. Like if you don't, now not everyone can find their big why overnight. Not everyone can discover the big why overnight, but a why could be a small why. Like give you an example. Why do I wake up every morning? Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right now, in my calendar is time block at 8:30. We will start sound check and we will do trainings and all that. Why? Why do we do that? It's because we know that in this season, the small why is if we don't do things, don't create activities, don't create support, don't create content, don't create things that we could help other agents, our agents won't do well. Our agents will have lesser opportunities to learn and lesser application steps to learn. So that's my big why right now. The small why that I have that I wake up every day. And it will determine the actions that you take towards doing what you are doing. Now, how many of you can feel today, Jonathan Quek and myself, there is a lot of passion, a lot of energy in delivering a message here today. How many of you agree? Got energy or not? Can you feel the heat that's coming from our screen or not?
John, actually, I'm sweating.
Yes, right. The energy is there is because there is a determination driven by a purpose behind. What's the purpose? Is the purpose for me to sweat and lose weight? No. Is the purpose for me to look nice on the screen? No. What's the purpose? So that we can deliver a good message that can encourage everyone in this group here of 218 people that will do well. Now, I give you an example how a big why will drive activity and action. Yesterday, this is a real story, right? Yesterday, I was talking to John, and when I was talking to John, his energy is so powerful. He's destroyed my mic. My mic spoiled. Okay, my mic spoiled, and I was panicking because my mic on my laptop is not working one. So how do I then deliver this conversation together? How do I continue my journey where it's virtual? So I was waiting for my wife to come back because now I'm out of quarantine. So I rushed to all the IT shops in Sri Hatamas near my house. Can you find me a mic? Can you find me a mic? Don't have. So I went all the way to Publica. Thank God I went to this Mac store called iStore, but they don't have cheap mic. They don't have the 15 ringgit mic. So I ended up buying this mic. Right? It's 500 ringgit. Why do I did that? Because I need to deliver something today. I put priority in what I need to do because I know my why. Yes, I can sing now. Part-time, I can create a song. If you all need a voiceover over your video, if you need to do MTV for your open house, please call me. For 50 cents, I will do a song for you. But anyway, having said that, that's reason why I make decisions and I take action. And I'm trying my best to deliver the best quality to everyone that I can, the best version of what we can do, right? And it's all driven because of a big why. How you live your life, right, will be determined by what purpose and why that you have. Right? I always do a lot of stories that is life related to my personal life, because I think that's the best way to communicate what I think is necessary for you all. Yeah, John, back to you.
Right. So, beginning of the session, as I go through the question and ask, what are the challenges that you're facing and what are the struggle that you're having right now? Now, if we don't understand the big why, we will give up. We will 100% give up. And there are moments, I remember there are moments I wake up and I don't know what I want to do. And I ask myself this question, why am I working so hard? And I have this session with my team, and I ask this question to everyone, and I say, why am I working so hard? It's because I want to be the provider of our family. That's the big why for me. So you have your big why that drive you, that push you. Now the big why will help you to push the momentum going. Now let's talk a little bit about momentum, and I like this energy a lot. Now, it takes a lot of effort and energy to get the ball rolling than to keep the ball rolling. You understand what I'm saying? It takes a lot of energy, effort to get the ball rolling than to keep the ball rolling. Now, if you're having a good momentum here, my suggestion to you, especially during this sort of time, if you keep on closing, don't stop, don't rest. Because the moment you stop, the momentum stop, you're gonna take a lot of your energy to start again. And that is very painful. Now, what if your momentum is so strong and the obstacle appeared right in front of you? And it looks like this. The momentum run, the obstacle is here, it just break through it. That's called momentum. And if you don't have momentum, a small little tiny challenges appear in your life. That's it. Thank you so much. That's the end. All right. So that is important. Now I'd like to show one more model that I think is beginning of this year when John and I and the team we went to Dallas, Texas. I think Matt Titter showed this model called business breakthrough models. And this is very interesting. I'm going to show it to you. Wait a minute. It's very interesting. Oh, by the way, when John said they got a new mic, it's because we want to deliver a message to you. And you know what? 2 days ago, I got this flip chart so that I can deliver the message to you as well. That's the big why for me, John. All right.
Awesome.
So you got a mic, I got a flip chart here. So if you need a flip chart, I'll borrow it to you, okay? Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about this breakthrough model. And I take a moment and think about it. I think some of you probably is very, very important to you. I will try to explain and we try to get to understand this model and how do you break through in your business. Now, we always start with a big why. And if you have a small why, it's okay. Now, when you understand here, when you understand what you're trying to do, you will think what you want to do. And how you think will determine how you behave. Now, I'm going to give you an example. If you think drinking is a good idea, you behave like a drinker. If you think smoking is a good idea, you behave like a smoker. If you think exercise is a good idea, you behave like a sportman, all right? You go to gym, you do exercise. And because you think exercise is a good idea, you develop the habit. You go to the gym, you do exercise, you go jogging. And because of that, because the way you think, the way you behave, and the things that you do for long term, and you develop the habit, it forms the relationship. Because the way you behave, the words that you say to attract the right people comes into your life. That's why I say, when you think positively, you attract positive relationship. When you think negatively, you attract negative relationship. And I want to say this to you. I want to tell one of the very interesting story about myself, that I cannot talk to a negative people. I cannot. And I want to tell you this. If I talk to negative people, you know what is a reaction to my body? I will get high fever. Really. I remember there's one conversation I was having with this uncle, and this uncle is actually quite senior, and this uncle are being very negative, but I need to respect him. No choice. I need to sit there, on the chair one-on-one with him and listen to him for 45 minutes. And then I cannot tahan. Then what happened is that I go back to my room and I ask my friend to buy Panadols for me, 2 Panadols. And I was having high fever. Then I realized my body cannot take negative energy. So if one day I talk to you and I ask you to buy Panadol for me, you know what happened? All right. So that's the thing, right? So if you are negative, you attract negative relationship. Now the problem is that whatever currently that we're doing right now, whatever things that we're doing right now, okay, we hit the ceiling of achievement. We cannot break through. We hit the ceiling of achievement. The question and the problem is that, what can we do now? How can we do differently? We hit the ceiling that, now I want to take this for example, that I believe that a lot of people stuck here is because they think technology is not their things. They think technology is difficult. And they hit the ceiling. And they know that the technology is the way to go. Because John said next year, we will officially call ourselves a tech company, not a real estate company. But before we call ourselves a tech company, a lot of agents stuck here. Now, how do we break through it? The way to break through it is to form a new way of thinking. And everything starts with new thinking. And I remember this. 3 years ago, 2 years ago, I felt that I stuck somewhere in my real estate journey 3 years ago. I felt that I'm not growing. I'm making money, making good money 3 years ago, but I felt that I'm not making money, and I was searching something. And I always thought, Redfield training is not good enough for me. This leader is not good enough for me. I was looking for something. And you know what happened? In that whole entire year, in that 2 years journey, I spent about 80 to 90,000 seminar here and there to look for the best person. Because I realized the environment cannot support me. And I always blame outside people. Then until a moment, and I sit down, it's actually not about that. It's actually not about that. I'm actually missing a relationship and missing a coach. They come in and challenge the way I think. And challenge the way I think. I was an individual agent. Then when I think differently and I say, I have all the skill set. I have all the selling skill. I have all the skill. I know how to get a deal done and how to coach people. And 3 years ago, I formed a team, and I say this. I form a team is to transfer the skill to another person. And I form a team, instead of thinking I myself make more money, I learn how to leverage. And I think differently. That's where a different breakthrough come in. And I'm not too sure how many of you are in this situation that you hit the ceiling and you don't know how to break through. It's not about the business tool that we want to give you. It's not about the technology that we want to give you. Is that we must have a new thinking that how can we be flexible? How can we leverage on that? How can we form a new way of thinking so that we can break through the things that we are currently hit the ceiling? So that's the model that I find it very powerful, right? John, what do you think about this?
Yeah, I think I remember this conversation with Matt Peter. Probably, Christy, we should get him to talk about this. Christy, remind me, please invite Matt Peter again to come and talk about this. Very powerful, and I think right now this pandemic, this crisis, this COVID-19 issue, Malaysia has a many issue lah. We got politics lah, leaders lah, water issue lah. Now tomorrow will be electricity issue. I don't know lah. Internet. I got internet issue at home. I got so many issues at home, right? But I think it's important for us to understand that all these issues, all these problems, all this crisis is really the opportunity to expose our way of thinking. Gary Keller coached us in one of the coaches sessions. He said, a crisis, the similar word for crisis, a similar word for this crisis is called exposure. It exposes the way we think about so many things. It exposes our business. It exposes the way we run our business. It exposes the way we manage our money. It exposes the way we treat people. And this is the best time to reset that thinking. These are the so important, that the gift of this crisis to us. Now, I'm not saying this is a good crisis. I don't like the things that's happening in this crisis, but the gift that comes with this crisis is the opportunity for us to reset the way we think, to start thinking what didn't go wrong, what went wrong. One of the experience I want to share with you in this thinking is the way us as leaders, how did we look at finances in managing the companies? And I give you an example, the regional team, when we look at our P&L during the crisis, the first MCO, we start thinking, how can we now make sure that we stay ahead and stay in the game, and we cut expenses? And there were so many things that we decided to do that we never thought we could do. For example, we don't have an office space anymore. The whole regional team, 100% work from home. That's a new way of thinking, guys. That's a new way of thinking. Now, if I don't have an office, does it stop us from delivering value to you or not? So question to you all, have we stopped delivering value to you guys? Or do you think, have we delivered more value to you? Do you all think we have delivered more value to you than before this crisis? Ask yourself this question, your answer, right? Then we start thinking, how can we then cut costs? By cutting the whole office expense, all of us, I don't have a room now, I don't have a table, I have nothing to sit down in the office. And I'm okay with that, because if I cut that saves us X amount of money, is to save us 80, 70,000 a year, that could maintain the entire organization longer. Why not? They will reduce the risk of exposure of financial struggles that we may have. Why not? Right? And we still can deliver value. So it's a different way of thinking. That's a good example of how we choose to change, how we choose to think the way we think, because we were at a seeding, right? Oh, how can we run a business without an office? How can we run a business without a room or without a table? How does it work? How do we run an office? Cannot lah. How? And we realized that actually we do more because you all stay at home, more comfortable, personally save more money also, get to spend more time with mother-in-law, So these are all the new way of thinking. It's a very good example of the new way of thinking about our business and thinking about our lives again. And then you change our behavior, it changed our habits, it changed our relationships, and it breaks through another ceiling right now. Right? Does that make sense? I think that's a good example I want to share.
Right, fantastic. Now, if you hit that ceiling, and I believe not just we hit that ceiling, I hit that ceiling, by the way, and I'm not too sure about you, but based on the challenges that you share, I believe a lot of people here, not just Redfield, but I believe all the businesses in Malaysia, in the whole entire world, they are thinking about this question. I think this is a probing question that you want to ask yourself, and I want you to write it down. How can we deliver our service or to sell our product in a different way? If you can answer that question, I think you will survive. And the question number 2 is that, how can we generate leads in a different way? If KW today, they don't partner with Facebook, they don't partner with Google in this season of time, who are we? We have that resources, we have that business tools. Now the things that you need to do is to think how to use that and then strive again. So that is the very, very important message that we want to bring in. All right, cool. That's the session today. I showed you a few models. By the way, just now someone say they want to look at the chart one, right? Or any other question that I can answer. I think I missed a lot of conversation there. Or maybe virtual support can help me. What are the questions that they have, or anything that I can help with?
I think the question we had was from Adelina about showing the chart, the first and second chart.
Okay. Wait a minute. Yes, this one. Right. Any other question you have? Not this, sorry. This one got love one. So sorry about this. Wait a minute. This one. Okay. The big aha here for this group of people is either you come out bitter or you come out better. You make a choice. Okay, what else? Any other question we have?
What are some of your ahas here, guys? What are some of the ahas that you're getting from this session today? How many of you think that this session is helping you think through your business right now? Okay, growth mindset. What else? Anyone else? What's your ahas or questions that you have? Don't just take notes, take action. Good failure equals good winner. Absolutely. To invent yourself, to reinvent yourself, correct? Form a new wave of thinking. Absolutely. Staying ahead in the game. Be a better version of yourself. How, sorry, there's another question there quickly. How is your driver and his family? Oh, he's good. Well, the family, all of them, 5 of them, all COVID-19 positive. They are now in Sungai Buloh Hospital, but I heard recovering very well. My driver is out of the hospital already. He's now resting at home for 14 days. Yeah.
Nice.
New way of thinking, don't do it again. Change, adapt, betterment, better to change. Be a game changer to stay relevant. Absolutely. Be a game changer for your market and to stay ahead of the game. Be the best version of yourself. Absolutely. Self-mastery. Very good. Very good. Very good. We can't change the environment, but we can change our mindset. There's one more thing you can change. I want to add here, there's one more thing you can change. You can change to associate with people that you want to associate with.
Correct.
That one is a choice. And that one, to me, it's more important than the environment. The 5 people that you spend your time with will determine how you behave, become, and how your production is. Or remember that the people that you spend your time with, the people that you take in feedback from, what you feed yourself, you become that. Remember, that's another choice that I cannot emphasize enough. Who you spend your time with, and what you spend your time with them to do what. Remember that part. Sorry, go ahead.
How do we do self-mastery in this situation? Or how do we adopt that?
John Quack, you want to answer that question?
Right. I would think if you, I assume you are new into this industry, all right? I think the number one things that you want to do self-mastery is to develop a certain skill set that you need. Now, if you're very new to this industry, please allow me to draw this diagram again to help you to understand how to help you with that. Is that if you're very new to this industry, there are part 1 and part 2 that you want to master. And number 1, we call lead generation skill. Number 2, we call follow-up skill. And that is part 1. Part 2, you want to focus on is your presentation skill. And number 4 is your closing skill. Now, let me ask you this question. Maybe I ask everyone here this question. From the skill 0 to 10, where are you right now for your lead generation skill? 0 is very bad, 10 is excellent. Where are you right now? You don't need to answer, but you evaluate yourself. If some people, Fazana say 10, fantastic. Fazana is the best person to do lead generation, awesome. If you realize that if your lead generation skill is only 3 and your follow-up skill very poor, only 3, you know what is the result? The result is that if you don't master your part 1, you won't bring appointment. If you master your part 1 and you bring appointment to part 2, but your presentation skill is bad and your closing skill is bad, there's no sales. So the things that you want to master today, some skill set, is that please develop some skill set for you to set appointment and then leverage on someone who can close deal. A very good person skill set is that if I look at Fazana's lead generation skill is about 10 and follow-up skill is about 9, if I'm not mistaken. And she always set appointment for the partner to close, and the partner called Shafiq, and the presentation skill is about 8 to 9, and the closing skill is about 8 to 9. What you need to do is that develop part 1 and go and leverage on someone else. Work in a partnership. And if you are very good at part 1 and part 2, congratulations. I don't think you will get put out of business today. I really don't think so. All right. So that's the thing. I hope I answered that question.
Let me follow up with another thing. This is another simple. Now, this is what John is saying is absolutely important for any agent at any level. The difference is how you choose to use it. If you're a multi-million-dollar agent, how you do, you'll probably outsource your lead generation. You have someone to do follow-up, whatever, doesn't matter. But that fundamental is there. Now, if you are new and you want to learn, I give you how many of you want to know a very expensive tip? I'm going to give you this tip. Like normally I charge 5,000 ringgit for this tip, but today I give you for free. Okay, and this tip is the easiest thing that you want. How many want to know? How many want to know? Okay, you all want to know, right? Very simple. Go and find someone that is so good at doing all these 4 things, and you go and ask him, hey, can I for the next 3 months follow you and help you and work for you for free?
Right.
And you watch and you learn and you listen, and you will be better. That's simple. Always follow a model, a person that is successful. Follow that person and copy that person, and you do whatever he's doing. Then you don't think so much. You just go do whatever he's doing. And you ask him why you're doing this, how you're doing this. You follow with that person, and you follow a mentor. You follow, it's like a kung fu show. How many of you watch kung fu shows, right? There must always be a master in order for you to learn the kung fu. Right? So find that kung fu master. Find that kung fu master. Follow someone that is successful. You cannot go wrong. Right? That's the fastest way. Now that's worth $5,000. So, you owe me $5,000 right now. Right?
Oh, no.
So follow that person, and you just go and do it for the next 2-3 months. I promise you, your life will change, because when you follow someone, you look at someone. I have personally experienced this many, many times. When I look at someone or I follow someone, I look at how they behave. I look at what they do. I then do it, and I do exactly what they do. Right? Sometimes it's not about being a mentor with you, but sometimes it's just following him. I get in the call with Gary Keller twice a month. One is what we call a regional director call. One is called agent mastermind call. In all these calls, my number 1 goal is to follow and think about what they are doing, see what they are doing, and try to bring what they're doing over here. Guess why? How many of you enjoyed Tyler Shields yesterday? How many enjoyed? If you enjoy, say yes. Now, guess where I found Tyler Shields? I found him in a mastermind in Gary Keller's conversation. And I saw, hey, that works, why did we invent the wheel again? Call him and come and do it. I follow, right? Follow someone that is successful. Successful people normally, right? This is how they show up. Let me show you. Successful people, right, normally show results. They talk very little. They do a lot of work. That's a good model. Follow someone that is working all this time. The person that is not busy likely is not successful. Likely, right? The person is busy doing a lot of work, spending 90% of the time working, 10% of the time talk. I always say 90% do, 10% talk. Follow that model. Cannot go wrong. Follow someone that is working hard, especially in this season. Look at what they're doing. Observe, right? And follow through with them. You cannot go wrong. Now, that's 5,000 ringgit already. Okay.
Oh no! Right.
So for 10,000 ringgit, you call me. I will give you the name to follow. Okay. If you want 10,000 ringgit, I give you the name to follow. Okay. I'm just joking.
Right. So I hope I answered that questions about self mastery, and not only that. One thing I want to highlight is that. Okay, you know where is it? It's okay. One thing I want to highlight is that I always ask myself this question: what do I do to energize myself? I don't know about you. What do you do to energize yourself? I'm not talking about motivation. I don't think here there's a motivation talk when we talk about mindset. Mindset is not about hoo-ha. We can do it, say 10 times. It's not that. I don't think so. I think what we're doing here is to really refresh and renew our mind. And the question is that, what do you do to energize you? You gotta find that. I think that is important. Now, let me share with you, what do I do to energize me or to refresh me is to read books. How many books you read from MCO to CMCO? Now, when I get stuck, I talk to the successful people. Because why? I want to understand how they think, because my mind cannot think. Because I hit the ceiling of achievement, remember? I need a new way of thinking, remember? So that I can feel refreshed. I need someone to feed me some good thought so that I can behave differently, so that I can talk differently. I have a different habit. So when you hit, so what energizes you is important. I go to gym, I do exercise, I read books. What about you? So that's the question that you want to find out, right? Any more questions, guys? Having a good time here.
There are some questions here that I posted from Elon and also Oliver.
Okay.
Elon's asking if a person is willing to change himself, committed, focused, but financially zero, what is a good idea for him to start his career in real estate? Oliver's question is about how can I leverage the part one skill?
I would like to answer the number one question, and it relates to how I started my real estate journey. I started my real estate journey with no money and no car, but with a big dream. I remember I went into Redfield for an interview, and the leader asked me, "Do you have saving?" And I say yes, but in fact I don't have. But I go in, I remember I say this, I work to learn, not to earn. I just want to work and develop some skill set, because what changed me is the book changed me. Paul Rich Dad, Poor Dad. When I read that book, I remember it goes very deep into me. And in the whole entire month, I read about 14 books. Then I make a decision to join Redfield. And I call in and I join one of the leaders. And I say, I'm here to work to learn. I just want to develop some skill set. And I don't have money. And I talk to my mom and I say, Mom, if I go to university, every day you need to give me 10 ringgit to buy food. Now I change my mind. I say I see Redfield as a university, and every day you still give me 10 ringgit. But I have a possibility to make money in this journey. And my mom gave me 10 ringgit. And what happened is that I was so hungry, and somehow in the journey, people helped me. Somehow in the journey, there are people I have a friend who stayed very near, but I don't know him. But when I attend the training that time, this person every day sent me to office. But he's no longer here. I don't know why. He worked about 3 months, then after that, finished already. And in my second month of my career, I closed 7 deals. In my first 6 months of my career, I closed about 28 deals, and it was interviewed by the H Properties. But I work 18 hours a day. So in the journey, I don't have money, to be honest, but I just want to say I have good people in my journey. They come in and help. I remember they give me money to change my tire, my leaders. And I just want to say thank you to this leader. They give me money to change my tire. And I remember I don't dare to press the petrol. I will maintain the speed at 40 or 50 from Kepong to Shah Alam. That's the story. That's how I start. But somehow I realized that you just have to get it started. Then something will just fall into place. All right. So that's the thing. I don't know how to answer that question, but yeah. There's a will, there's a way. You're right. You say it right. So the second question, how do you leverage on part one, right, really?
Yes.
How? Leverage on Fazana, my team. My team member Faz very good at part one, but she got a boyfriend already. So Oliver, you need to find a girlfriend. So yeah, how to leverage on part one, John? I don't know.
Again, first go and find someone and copy that person. Number two, there's something called KW command campaigns that can do leverage, that can do lead generation. That right now is giving 70 cents to 50 cents per lead to $1 to $2 per lead. That's leverage, right? Everything can be leveraged. It costs money or time, right? So think about what you can do to leverage. Find someone. Go look at someone who's successful right now. Go find someone. Go ask John. John, can I leverage on you? What is that? What does that mean? So go talk to them, right? So these are all the things that I think we should leverage. I think there's another question here from Michelle. Who is that mentor or something like that? Which guru do you follow?
Yeah. Okay. Ask which guru does John follow?
Yeah.
Now, I'm very blessed to have people in my journey. I think number one, I have David, who will come into my life and look into my spiritual life. And I think fantastic. And number two, if I have problem in business, I will always look for two people. One is John Lee, another one is Emilia Kun. I just want to say thank you to both of you. And sometimes when I hit the ceiling of achievement, I just want to have a conversation with them. And they will change the way I think, and I will start over again. So when you hit something, talk to someone. By the way, listen to the right voice that lift you out and change you. The right voice, by the way. So don't talk to negative people, because when you talk to negative people, you need Panadols. Right? Listen to the right voice that will lift you out or change you or motivate you. Other than that, don't listen to the other voice. There are so many negative voices right now, by the way. So be very careful. Okay, now I just want to talk a little bit about this. I remember I spent my first 2 to 3 years of my whole entire journey at part 1. Then what happened is I realized that part 1 required a lot of times and effort, but very little money. The number 1 skill that you want to develop is the closing skill, the ability to close. So what happened is, I remember that time I made the decision to move to part 2 and I hired someone in, and that person called Fazana. And Fazana was my telemarketer, and today, and then I remember I trained her about lead generation, I trained her about database, I trained about a follow-up skill, and today she's very good at that. And she's running a team right now, partner with Shafiq. So that's the thing. All right? Okay. Any other things?
Someone asked you, can we know what's your mindset to keep you energetic every day?
What is my mindset? I think it's not my mindset to keep me, but the purpose and the mission that I hold right now. And I hope I live with this mission strongly, is to inspire people to do what inspired them so that each of us can live a purposeful life. That's the mission I hold. And I get very tired if I don't do things that is, I get very tired if I don't do things that is impactful, that is not life-changing, that's not transformational. And I realize I'm not living a life that's in a purposeful way. And the mission that we have in FDRT is to inspire everyone to live a purposeful life. And I say we are not here just to be a real estate agent. We are not here just to be a real estate. We are not here just to sell property. Okay, we are here to be the provider of a family and to help people and bless people. So yeah, so that keep me moving, keep me going, is to do things that's impactful, to do things that is transformational, to do things that is life-changing. That motivates me.
Awesome. Okay, guys, due to time, I want to respect everyone's time. Can I have the announcements first, and I'll come back to John shortly. Okay, so this is the announcement for next week. Okay, next week we're going to focus a lot about lead generation and follow-up. I think the mindset today is to help us to prepare, and that flip chart over there that John Craig just wrote down there, the 4 levels or the part 1 and part 2 things there, right, is to set us up for next week to think through about how we do our lead generation. And I will be speaking to several people on Monday. I think Monday will be very interesting and exciting. There will be 3 agents I'll be talking to, and some of them are even showing me some results based on how they have adapted and adopted certain things. For example, you will see a Metapod example of how Metapod have supported someone's business, right? How virtually enhanced this person has already started the journey of that. So I want to just to bring their attention to look at this training, and if you have not signed up, please sign up, especially for Tuesday, where I'm going to do a session on how to do campaigns for your business in Command, right? I will do a live demo on how to do campaigns, followed by Lily is going to talk about follow-up, and also George will look at lead, follow-up, and conversion as well. So the whole week, the theme is the opportunity in how can we look at lead generation and follow-up as our key business. This is the number 1 thing that we need to do in our business. If we cannot do lead generation and follow-up, right, or we don't have something that gives us lead generation and follow-up, the business is not viable anymore, right? Next slide, please. Next slide. Okay, that's Tuesday. Next one. So those ones books, right? Get us on Hello at Redfield. You want to buy T-shirts like what John is wearing? Go hello@redfield.com. John is our model here today. So next, it comes in all sizes. Okay, come next. If you can fit me, it can fit you. Okay, John, I want to please share the screen. John, I want to ask you one last question. One last question. When you have challenge in when you're going through a ceiling, and you have probably gone through ceiling several times, and even in this CMCO or this RMCO or this MCO season, you have went through a couple of roadblocks and a couple of challenges, right? How do you, just share with us again, how do you keep that positive mindset and restructure that thinking again? How do you do that? And what is your advice for all of us in this audience so that we can do the similar things that you do before we end?
Yeah, thank you for asking that question. It reminds me how I went through that. During MCO, I just want to tell you, I was negative. During MCO, I didn't think properly. I was thinking the whole world is very bad, really. So what happened is that I was talking to the right people and listening to the right voice. I was talking to mentors and I say, I'm not thinking it right. I don't know what happened to the industry. I realized that we are going bad. I was at the category 1%. Remember that? I think negatively. Okay, and I slowly try to move here. It takes a lot of courage, and you need to make a big jump from this situation to this situation. And in order for you to do that is to be in a good environment and is to talk to the right people. And number two is to protect your desire from any situations so that you can keep going during this season of time, to protect your desire and to protect your mindset. And if your mindset is not right, everything is not right. So that is a very important things that we want to do. And then lastly is to feed your mind with positive thoughts every morning, by the way. Feed your mind with positive thought every morning, work out, eat healthy, and look after your body and soul. And that is important to me. I hope I answered that question, John.
Awesome. Thank you very much, guys. That's and I like what someone's saying here, Norhuda saying that protect your eye gate, your ear gate. What you smell, you taste, you look, you listen to will determine how you become at the end of the day. So start your day with us every morning at 9 to 10:15 in sessions like this to help you get that right voice, to help you to get that right input, to feed yourself with the right content to start the journey of the day. This is a fuel. This is a breakfast for you. Every morning we plan all these things in place. Now, there are days that you don't need breakfast. That's fine. But if you need breakfast, that breakfast is available for you every morning right now from 9 to 10:15 until we get out of this situation. That's our commitment to everyone. So thank you very much, guys. Thank you, John, for taking time of your business and sharing so openly and so vulnerably with all of us. Thank you, guys, for being here. See you next week, guys. Have a good weekend. Thank you very much. See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. See ya. Mm.